evening, Los Angeles. Hello, lovers of Major League Soccer. Hello, fans of the black and gold. And hello to the millions
and millions
of Defenders of the Bank listeners. This is another edition of One More Sleep, your preview before LAFC breezes through their next opposition, which in this case is a team that has a logo that distinctly looks like a head of broccoli. That's right. We're taking on Austin, and we're heading down to the Lone Star State. The Lone Star State, a place that always treated LAFC great historically. But we'll talk about that momentarily. My name's Christian Filliman, better known as Philly, the sort of platinum-haired flamingo. And today, Defenders, today is a day of celebration. There are so many things that happened on March the 20th. Some good, some bad. The Republican Party was founded on this day in 1854. Whether or not many of you think that's good or bad, hopefully we all can agree that I don't want to get into politics. But yes, that was something that happened on this day. In 1868, Jesse James robs a bank in Russellville, Kentucky, stealing $14,000, which I actually would love to know what the mathematics is, how much that's worth in 2026 money. And so many things happened, whether it was Marines landing in Nicaragua to protect U.S. citizens, whether it was President Wilson meeting with his cabinet after the sinking of 3 U.S. merchant ships. I'm still in the early 1900s, and this list is far longer. 1952, Humphrey Bogart won an Academy Award on this day. But most importantly, Defenders, today is a day of celebration because we are celebrating the birth of one J.R. Liebert, the Scarf, otherwise known as Bufanda. He turns 43, Defenders, a number that was reserved for elites like Troy Polamalu or Darren Sproles or the legendary Jack Sikma, who played for the Seattle Supersonics, who might be making their return, by the way, and the Milwaukee Bucks, Pascal Siakam, and the other Giannis brother on the Milwaukee Bucks. I raise and make a toast to the birth of the legendary. I know he's thinking, when the hell am I going to talk? But hey, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to milk this as much as I can because he's going to be gone for a little while. Let's crack one open. Booyah, baby, for La Bufanda, dear Shal himself, my brother, my pod partner, one of the best people I know. And now I'll stop. J.R. Liebert, happy flipping birthday.
My man, I so appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. By the way, couple of people also born on this same day, just in case anyone asks. Number 4, Bobby Orr. That's a fun one. And someone who we all grew up letting into our homes because we all went into his neighborhood. That would be one, Mr. Rogers. So kind of a couple of cool birthdays. If you ask a lot of people, the greatest defenseman ever to play, number 4, Bobby Orr. And Mr. Rogers, that's a cool one. So I can one day hope to be the third biggest deal ever. There's a lot of other people born on today, but look, rest in peace, politics aside again, but rest in peace, the man who had a fist underneath his beard, even though he passed away, one Chuck Norris today as well. It's a bummer. And 43 for me, and Philly and I were talking about this. Raul Mondesi, for all you Dodger fans out there, that was one of my first favorite Dodger players, an absolute cannon in the outfield before he signed with the New York Yankees and ate his way out of baseball, unfortunately. But I should love to have that problem someday, to eat my way out of Major League Baseball. I've eaten my way into several Major League Baseball stadiums, but that's about it. Absolutely love doing this with you guys. Thank you all so much. Everybody in the chat, you guys are the best. Mario, tell Little O I said thank you as well. Juan, again, everybody, thank you, thank you, thank you. We got a game tomorrow, FC Broccoli, like Philly mentioned, Q2 Stadium, match number 5 in the 2026 MLS season, 5:45 p.m. In good old Austin, Texas. The 3252's official watch party, by the way, is out in Ontario International Airport, which not many people know this. It's exactly equidistant between Los Angeles and Austin, Texas. So there you go. That's you're about halfway there once you get to the Ontario International Airport. So that should be fun.
He's not lying. And actually, that's a good point. I was getting my hair cut at Isis Black and Gold earlier today. Shout out to Oso and Isis, by the way, and to all the Cuervos. And she reminded me about that watch party. And since we'll be out in Riverside doing baseball tomorrow, might be the perfect stop point. But you, my friend, you've got some fun activities planned. Not only did I divulge your phone number to help everybody on our previous podcast, but also let all the millions and millions know that you'll finally get to see your favorite athlete live and in person. Have you seen what they've painted and made BMO Stadium look like for this flag football competition tomorrow?
I was looking at some of the things on Twitter. I saw Logan Paul warming up to play in this thing and a bunch of other people. It's
Burrow,
not,
you're going to see Odell Beckham. I mean, that's pretty freaking cool, man.
I've seen Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Rob Gronkowski, of course, the GLA himself. It's going to be a lot of fun out there. So we'll see. Thank you guys again, everybody in the chat. But yeah, it doesn't look like BMO Stadium. That's for sure.
No, it doesn't. And, well, at least it's not going to be a concert where we know the pitch is going to sustain a lot of damage. As much as I love having the concerts at BMO Stadium, and I can't wait for Iron Maiden, Megadeth, and Anthrax, we know what the pitch normally looks like after a show. But in this little confined space, and shout out, by the way, to our groundskeeper once again, Gage and that entire crew, the pitch has been looking stellar as always, in particular the past couple games. But should be a good event. I think Panda ran into Joe Burrow at Cedar Sinai earlier today. No, he was not getting surgery. He just happened to be getting a tour of the pavilion where she works. So interesting for her to bump into him. I remember Joe Burrow very vividly at SoFi Stadium losing to the Rams. That was a great Super Bowl. I got to go to it for free, mainly because of an essay I wrote on behalf of my wife, who became Rams NFL Fan of the Year, thanks to Captain Morgan. It was the greatest essay that I ever wrote. So eat your heart out, my English teacher in high school, Mr. McDonald. See, I actually can write something that would create some kind of success for me.
Yeah, Juan's telling me to make sure I can get Tom Brady a scarf. I will bring a Defenders of the Bank scarf. He definitely was holding up a number 12 black and gold jersey today, by the way, which kind of blew my mind. That was really
on the
cool.
day of your birthday, Tom Brady holding an LAFC kid, and then Chuck Norris died. So, a positive and a negative is still a negative mathematically, but you would know that because you're a math teacher. But anyway, we digress, buddy. I love you. Happy birthday. I hope you know. I hope you felt the love today. So many people reaching out, DMing you and all that stuff. And I would say normally you get on me about putting up the bad photos of you on social media. I did good. I wanted it to be like photos of you and I doing some fun things. And I also wanted more recent photos, not something from 9 years ago before you and I really started going grayer.
No, you did very, very well, my man. And again, everybody who messaged and everything, thank you guys all so much. It was truly a fun day. And look, I got to spend part of it. Obviously, I was at school, so it was nice to be able to spend it. I've got one of my middle schoolers who shares a birthday with me. And then we just, it's nice kids love to celebrate you as a teacher if there's someone that you like. And I'm lucky enough to be liked by a lot of my kids. So
screw that. You're loved by a lot of human beings, the molder of young minds, the podcast purveyor and the dulcet tones. You're an amazing human being. And this is not me just trying to blow smoke up your rear end because it's your birthday. I truly mean that. And I guess I don't say enough good things about you because we're normally taking the piss out of one another because it's more fun that way. But you truly are a special human being, at the very least to me. My brother from another mother, the only family. I didn't have family before I left coming here from New York City. So love you, buddy. And may this be your 43rd. And may we do this again in another 43.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate you. Speaking of doing it again.
I would make Chuck Norris's age when he passed away, now that I think about it. So,
boy. Yeah, you're right. Mario, thank you again.
I make it to 100. What luck do you and I have? Particularly after all those years of tailgating at Christmas Tree Lane. Anyway, we should probably get into business.
Let's do it. Look, last season, Austin finished 6th in the West, 13 wins, 13 losses, 8 draws. They did score the fewest goals of any club in the Western Conference with 37, but they allowed the 5th fewest, so they were only -8 on the season. Not a terrible year for Austin, unless, I don't know, you come up against LAFC in the playoffs, and it was for them once again. In 2026, they are 1-2-1 on the season. That's 1 win, 2 losses, 1 draw. Their draw came in their first match of the season against Minnesota 2-2. They beat a bad DC United team 1-0, and then consecutive losses to both Charlotte and RSL 3-1 and 2-1. 4 players have put the ball in the back of the net for Austin this season, but nobody more than once. One of them, though, Christian Ramirez. And we've all heard of one Christian Ramirez. Philly, we've played these guys 15 times, and honestly, on the road, it's not all that bad, especially our last couple of wins against them.
Well, 7-4-2 overall in the series. But, I mean, the last time we did play them at Q2 Stadium, regular season, I should say. No, postseason. October the 12th, they beat us 1-0. So the most recent outing in Texas was an L for us. And as we've stated numerous occasions, the state of Texas has not been friendly to the black and gold, but we've fared out quite decently against Austin on a number of occasions. We continue to drain their hopes in the playoffs. So they're starting to kind of turn into a Vancouver Whitecaps team in terms of us breaking their hearts in the postseason. But you said it, they're not really good to begin this season. But listen, when you play 4 games, there really isn't a sample size of how truly talented some teams are. Yes, we are riding our high horses, coming out to the best start in club history with a 4-0-0 record. But I mean, a team at home is dangerous. And listen, with the exception of the game they had against Charlotte, every other loss that they've sustained or every other game they've been has been either a draw or within 1 goal. So this is a team that can still do some damage. They got some good players, and they're coached very well. And as we know, Q2 Stadium can get pretty loud, and it could be a very dynamic and imposing atmosphere for visiting teams.
Yeah, listen, although, Philly, you mentioned the last time we played them in the regular season, we lost 1-0. But in the playoffs, we did beat them down pretty good, 4-1. In fact,
that's right. That's right.
And in fact, our last 2 wins there, if you go back to 2023, we also won 4-1. So you look at when we win in Austin, we put up goals, we play really well. But you're absolutely right, a tough place to play. But for Austin, unfortunately, they got bit by the injury bug just as much as LAFC has. And in this one, I mean, look, you look at who they are missing. I will argue they are likely missing their 3 most talented players. Midfielders Owen Wolf and Danny Pereira and forward Brandon Vasquez are all going to be missing in this one, as well as forward Robert Taylor. So they're really missing some reinforcements up top. You could probably see maybe a Christian Ramirez start in this one. That's how rough it is. They do operate with 3 designated players, Mirto Uzuni, who we've seen over the last couple of seasons in Philly. Their big signing in the offseason was from Peñarol originally, then Orlando, and then, where have we heard this before? That Palmeiras move really didn't work out for Facundo Torres. He was a big goal scorer in Orlando, 47 goals, 20 assists in 120 matches. Didn't work out so much for him in Palmeiras. 10 goals, 6 assists in 61 matches, but he's got 2 assists in his first 4 with Austin. And Philly, other than Christian Ramirez, we all know somebody who played a little rough with Sonny last year, a former certain love of the black and gold, our former captain and their captain, Ilie Sanchez.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see Ilie once again. He did get on most of our naughty lists last season. We all had a thing or two to say on social media to our former captain, but at this point, kind of gone and forgotten, much like our memory of us playing Cruz Azul. I swear when we did our last pod, Scarf, I didn't remember the Cruz Azul game until somebody commented on the YouTube. It's amazing how much amnesia now we've had and how many games we're starting to forget. We've gotten to that point. And if you're wondering, yes, these glasses are prescription and they're new because when you're old, you can't see. And then, it's the hearing that'll go next. But Ilie Sanchez will forever be forgiven. Obviously, he spent some time here. He was a class act on the field, off the field in particular. And listen, no greater moment than when he sealed the deal, beating the Philadelphia Union, beating keeper Andre Blake, hopping into an unexpected John McCarthy as LAFC won its first ever MLS Cup in 2022. Now, he's getting burned. Consistent burn, Ilie Sanchez is. I mean, he's played in the last 4 games for Austin, so he does have fond memories of LAFC, but at this point, he's black and verde, and that's how we're going to treat him.
Yeah, and look, honestly, the issue in the issue over at Austin, is in the midfield. So Ilie is going to play a bunch. A couple names you'd recognize, obviously, Guillermo Biro, who always plays very well against us, and Brendan Hines Ike on the back line. And of course, In goal, one Brad Stuver, who we have seen over and over and over again. And just to get you all up to speed on the issues for injuries for LAFC, Aaron Long, Igor Jesus, Jacob Schaffelberg, and Lorenzo Della Valle, no surprise there. Jeremy Abobasi upgraded to questionable in this one. And we finally got some details on the Stephen Eustachio injury. Apparently, a masseuse was a little too rough with him, so now he's going to be out for a few weeks. I don't even know anymore, Philly.
I mean, that's almost as comical as Julian Gaines and his pelvis problems. Listen, you live long enough, which you and I clearly both have. You start to hear and see some things. So, are we surprised? No, because, well, crazier things have happened, I guess. I don't have anything else more to say to that. I mean, I'm as shocked as all y'all are. I mean,
yeah,
I might need that masseuse. I have this kink in my shoulder blade. Whatever.
Listen, I don't kink shame anybody, so whatever you got, Philly, I'm all for it. All right, let's get into it.
You do call Pookie on things.
Let's get
Pookie,
into it.
for those that don't know, basically, like, he could ask for whatever he wants to a certain extent, and he gets it. That's the idea of a birthday Pookie. Well, that's something like I've been calling it for like 30 freaking years now.
I don't know what just happened with birthday Pookie. But
birthday Pookies.
All right. Well,
we'll have it for another hour and a half.
Yeah, right. I'm going with Brad Stuver in goal for Austin because I think they're going to need him quite a bit. We are going to pepper Brad Stuver quite a bit in this one. I really do think we are going to come guns ablazing, if you will, to use Texas parlance that they're familiar with there. It's going to be interesting because they don't really have their midfield at all. Their back line has been tested over and over again already this season. They've given up multiple goals in 3 out of 4 games, and I don't think any of the teams that they have seen so far come prepared with the offense that LAFC does. You're looking at a club that is really hurting right now, literally on the pitch, and I think LAFC is going to take full advantage. Ergo, Brad Stuver is going to have himself a night. And I mentioned the last 2 times we have won in Austin, LAFC has put up 4 goals in each of them. Well, in those wins, Denis Bouanga, of the 8 goals, Denis Bouanga has 4 of them. So I believe that it is going to be another brace for Denis Bouanga in this one. He's had braces in back-to-back wins in Austin. So I've got Denis Bouanga and Brad Stuver.
I like that. Brad Stuver's a fine keeper, by the way. He's always been very solid for the Black and Verde. For me, Scarf, I'm going to go with a player that many of us are familiar with. And no, it is not pronounced Gallagher. It is pronounced Gallagher. He is what I would consider an underrated problem. Look, he scored in the most recent playoff fixture that we had against the Black and Verde. And by the way, at LAFC, that's hilarious. Going to make Salsa Verde out these fools. That's a beautiful saying, and that's what I'm going to think all day tomorrow. But having scored recently against LAFC in their last matchup, success breeds upon success. It's kind of like when we were all athletes at one point. There was that one team that we knew we would always have success against. We would kind of go into that mindset, into that game, thinking, all right, I remember I dropped however many points on this team. I think I could do it again. Gallagher brings energy. He's got positive late runs. He's got that positional flexibility. And look, he's not a highlight person like any of the other names that we mentioned, especially on the injury list, but he has a surprise punch. Situational threats are where he possibly could be a problem. LAFC has proven to be somewhat vulnerable when it comes to set-piece defense, and he could be that X factor. He often arrives late into plays, but he does like to score goals and chap at us, and remember that playoff equalizer. So for me, it's John Gallagher. On our side, it seems pretty obvious and the low-hanging fruit about David Martinez and his recent success. But the reason I'm picking him, defenders, is because 6 of the 9 goals that Martinez has scored in MLS play have come on the road. So David Martinez is actually a much better player scoring goals on the road than he is at home. And of course, back into that mindset of success breeds upon success, he is playing at the best level that he's played at since we signed him. So to me, he's going to be a massive problem for Austin's back line and for Brad Stuver.
I absolutely love it. If we can start counting on this, Philly, you and I talked about it If we can start counting on David Martinez as the third weapon, obviously behind Denis and Sonny, it is going to be a long season for anybody who comes up against the black and gold. There we go. Keys to the match. I got one, and that's high pressure. I really do believe that because of their lack of aggressiveness in the midfield, meaning Austin's, I think LAFC can really turn the screws up on the pressure. We've seen Sonny look much more like Sonny over these last couple of matches. He's pursuing the ball more. He's staying more aggressive up top. He almost got a hold of one a couple of games ago on a late goal kick. And I think LAFC's high pressure is going to lead to at least one, if not two goals and or set pieces that could lead to a goal. I think LAFC needs to be very aggressive in this one. I expect to see a player like Artem Smolyakov or Ryan Hollingshead to start in this one opposite Sergi Palencia. I think obviously we'll get a dose of Ryan Porteous and Nkosi Tafari on the back line. They like to stay at home and be center back defenders, not involved in the offense as much unless it's a set piece. So I really do think we are going to push up and really press again in Austin, and I think it's going to lead to some goals. And so more on that in a second. Noe, I'm going to tell you in just a minute, actually.
There it goes. Of course, you transition on to me as I'm trying to type into the chat. Okay, so for me, it's all about midfield protection. With the exception of the first two games, there hasn't been much possession as far as Austin is concerned. They've been outmantled, outshot completely in their last two games. I mean, they were sucky for that's my professional analysis, defenders. They were sucky the past couple of games. So the thing is, like, if we can avoid getting turnovers in the midfield and letting them beat us on a counter, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to sit there and say, you can have the ball, but just don't lose it in a bad spot. This is a team that is reactive, opportunistic when they have the abilities, and efficient rather than being flashy. So if we can lock things up in the midfield, prevent them from getting to any open grass, because open grass could mean a counter, could mean danger. To me, as long as we protect the midfield, this should be a team that we shut out relatively easy. Not literally shut out, because that's not one of my score predictions, but it's just a matter of protecting the midfield. You don't want to allow them to just pick our pocket or catch us in any kind of lazy moments, a fatigue moment where we're not paying attention, or at the end expecting a whistle or whatever the case may be. Just don't allow them on a counter, because they're going to, the last two games, that's what they're going to do. They're going to sit back and wait for us to make a mistake. So we have to protect the midfield.
Look, Philly just let part of a cat out part of a bag in terms of his goal, or his score prediction, I should say. But I do believe we're going to shut these guys out. And I'm telling you this. I think it's going to be a rough one for Austin in Austin. Yes, ISIS, it is going to be hot. It's going to be hot in Austin. But you know what? It's been hot here in LA for the last week. So they're probably used to it, even though they haven't really been in LA. They also haven't been in LA since they went from Costa Rica straight to Austin, right? So they could get a little bit of rest by being in Austin an extra day or so. But I think this one is going to be a big one for LAFC. I really do believe that Denis is going to get himself a brace. I would not be surprised at all if Sonny and David Martinez also find a way onto the score sheet in this one. And the bottom line is this. I think Marc Dos Santos is going to push all of his chips in the middle to become not just the first MLS squad to go 4-0-0 with 4 clean sheets, but 5-0-0 with 5 clean sheets, because we do not have a match until April 4th after this one. It is just about 2 full weeks off. So he can afford to play Denis. He can afford to play Sonny. He can afford to play Mark Delgado. He can afford to play Nkosi Tafari, Ryan Porteous, Sergi Palencia. Play our best for the entire time that it takes to crush them. Now, if we're up 3-0 in the 80th minute, let's get some subs. But I know he's going to want to preserve that clean sheet streak in Major League Soccer and really go for being the first club ever to go 5-0-0 with 5 clean sheets.
You bring up a very interesting point. Yes, that's great. And for those that are new to LAFC and to the show, we'll just talk about the first 3 games to begin an MLS season. Going back to 2018, LAFC's never gone 3-0-0. They obviously, they've never gone 4-0-0, and nobody's ever gone 5-0-0. Our inaugural year, we went 2-1-0. The year after, 2-0-1. Then it was 1-0-2, 1-0-2 again in 2021. 22, we were 2-0-1, 2-0-1 in 23, and 1-1-1 in 24, 25, 2-1-0. And this season we are 4-0-0. So just to kind of put some context, when people say that there are no tactics, this team isn't very good, coach doesn't know what he's doing, I mean, we're off to our best start. So, I mean, until things go the opposite way, I'm going to stick to the idea that this is good. 4-0 is very nice. I thought about going 4-3 in honor of your birthday, Garth, of you being 43. But what the commonality is still within one. Now, Austin, to me, is like a poker player who just keeps checking. They're not really trying to run the table. They're just waiting for you to mess up your hand. The problem, though, LAFC's got too many cards. Our attacking quality is fantastic. Austin will create at least maybe one or a couple of high-danger transition chances because that's what they do. But LAFC is going to control this game in long stretches. But the way it's going to go to me is as follows. LAFC scores first. Austin equalizes in transition. And then LAFC wins it late with a set piece or via some sustained pressure. It's going to be a dramatic game. People are going to be losing their heads once again at the tactics and the lineup and everything that Marc Dos Santos does because that's what everybody's doing on social media. But either way, we will prevail 5-0-0. And to the comment I saw earlier, salsa verde for all of us tomorrow after we make mincemeat out of those black and verde foods.
The worst is that Austin claims to have the best tacos in the United States just because it's, we do breakfast tacos. Bro, we do breakfast burritos here in Los Angeles. You can have your breakfast tacos. We do breakfast burritos right about 18,000 different ways here in Los Angeles. So any of you guys from Austin want to come out here, I'll take you on a breakfast burrito tour of Los Angeles. It'll blow your mind. I'm actually 4.5% breakfast burrito myself. So it's pretty helpful if anybody wants to go get some good breakfast burritos. Stop doing the whole we have the best tacos thing. Yes, you have breakfast tacos. Congratulations. We have tacos whenever we want. And there you go. See, we got LAFC saying breakfast burritos, a whole ass meal. Yes, it is. There you go. So Philly's got 2-1. I've got 4-0. I love it, Philly. I thought you were going to say, well, I didn't go 4-3, so I went 2-1 in honor of the age that you and I both want to get back to someday.
No, I look, I don't want to go back to that time frame unless I have all the accumulated knowledge that I do now going back to that time frame. At 21, it's interesting. At 21, I felt like I was the smartest person in the world. And to a certain extent at 43, I still kind of think that as well. But I've also learned that the older I get, the more I realize I don't know a damn thing. So at the very least, I've matured in that sense. I want to go back to being able to recover the way I did at 21. From it going out and partying all night to being able to do things physically, to going back and able to be in a rock and roll band, to train in MMA, to run marathons and not feel, beat up as I do, as much as I do when I get out of bed in the morning where, my knees are Rice Krispies, snap, crackle, pop, as if we pour milk on a bowl getting ready for Saturday morning cartoon.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us here on One More Sleep. I got about an hour and a half left of my birthday, which means I'm probably going to go to bed soon. There you go. I'm tired. So.
How the red card. That's the red card. We are penalizing Scarf.
No. Hold on. Now, Philly, you know the reason, though. In 2 days, I am going to be taking, now it's 16, actually, middle schoolers to Belize for the course of a 6-day service trip. And then I'll come back, and I'd be more than happy to celebrate with anybody out there who wants to celebrate. I'm just trying to keep it on the rails until we get back from Belize.
Hold on a second. You're taking how many?
16.
16
middle schoolers.
16 middle schoolers. Defenders. If that doesn't make you want to crawl into a bottle of tequila or whiskey, I don't know what else will. But that's not the true reason that you're going to bed early. The true reason is because I still don't know what the hell this means. You want to wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed so you can see Tom Brady tomorrow. Just admit it. Admit it. We all know it. The millions and millions know it, Scarf.
Listen, Expect to see a picture of the GLA somewhere on Instagram tomorrow. I'm just saying it right now.
The GLA, since when did he start promoting fat loss medication?
No, that's GLPs.
Oh, damn. Wrong acronym. Wait, GOP?
No, oh, my God. All right, y'all. I've got 4-0. Philly's got 2-1. Philly, good luck with the Johnnies. And
they made mincemeat out of northern Iowa. Now they take on Kansas. A small part of me wants to drive down to San Diego to catch that game. For those wondering why the hell I'm wearing a St. John's t-shirt, like many of y'all who grew up around here loving UCLA and USC, same story with me with St. John's. I grew up down the road. My mom and dad still live there. That was my backup school, but I was an Indiana Hoosier all through and through. But I root for St. John's basketball always, baby. Go Johnnies. A red storm is arising.
And I'm still waiting for to make any postseason tournament since I left the school, and that was 5 years ago. Oh my God! All right,
but Italy might make the World Cup, so at least that's a win.
I don't want to talk about that either right now. All right, y'all. 4-0, 2-1. I'm 43. Bye bye.
Bye bye.